this DTR, and we'll be back on Venus, sort of. It will be different map. So those who do not know or do know, I had a tiny hardware issue, malfunction in my PC, and effectively the old save is gone. Bottom line, I actually decided to rebuild the base. So just last night I jump in and I built the base pretty much the same way as I did in the beginning of in the last four episodes. So and I recorded everything. It took a little bit over 4 hours, and I was planning to insert here a time lapse how I did it, but when I was editing this, I realized it's effectively the first four episodes, mashed together. Almost everything is exactly the same. There are a little bit of differences. Obviously, the map is different. The layout of the map is different. But everything else, I try to build, exactly the same. Even when I was originally building, I actually start building the airlock on the other side. So then I just look at this and I was like, no, I'm gonna build as it was, on this one. So I just move it and so on. But there are a few changes, and I try to keep it, build the base to the stage exactly as it was. But few changes I made. I'm gonna walk with you and just describe them in a second. But I also didn't try to advance too much. So when I was building the cooling, I was about to just go all the way, straight on one go, and then I realized, hold on, in the previous episode, I only built two segments of it, not three. So I'm just gonna leave those two segments and so on. So three, differences that I made. One was that I built the second furnace pretty much at the beginning. So I built the first one. Obviously, the frame is missing. I'm gonna explain that one in a second. Something happened at the end, but I put the frame. Sorry, I put the second furnace. One I was, doing steel. The advantage of this smelting was, much faster all the way. However, doing the steel was a bit problematic because this furnace was empty, so I need to mess a little bit with it. So there is an additional chute, inlet chute over here, so I can load directly this furnace. For example, one stack of coal, so I actually can pressurize it. There is a little bit change around cooling, and a little bit around trader, but if you might notice, the base is bigger, right? Normally, like I mentioned, I built a 3x4, and then I in the past was extending only by one frame. That was enough because inside there were only four manufacturer machines, your auto layer, your electronics printer, pipe bender, and usually a tool manufacturer, I think it's called, right? But from the Rocketeer update, there is now additional machine that I will be requiring, which is the rocket printer, whatever actually it's formally called, and that requires a little bit more space. So this is why in the first four episodes, I actually extend this to two frames, so from 3x4 to 5x4. But then I just sit over there and start, thinking, oh, actually, if I gonna build, additional rows of solar panels that are required for charging the rocket in the end, as we go, this will make more sense. I said I'm gonna build an overhang solar panels above the cooling, and this would actually start doing in recording that didn't make it. My whole PC just crashed and so on. I start building those, and it was pain in the butt because uh, as you're required to have this sort of ready to be closed at any given time due to the storm and so on, the solar panel box that we'll be doing hopefully in this episode, to add additional solar panels or anything like transformer or whatever, you're required to go place a frame, construct it, do your changes, and then remove it, obviously, right? It's okay, you can do it, but I in my head was like, if I would start this again, I would just say, you know what, pull this, the other direction. So pull this south facing, right? Yeah. So advantage of this is there is more space inside the base, but there's also disadvantage because venting it for whatever reason, like for instance, ejecting my tank or drinking takes much longer, right, to create a vacuum. So the internal vent pretty much constantly works for now, at least. But I'm gonna try to, allocate some of the things inside differently. But yeah, let's just go and say, let's just see how other things work, right? So there is the trader platform. Obviously, there is massive hill on this side. I was planning to have a runway there. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it at some stage, but not now. Oops. Uh, so let's start from this one, right? Why this is open. So I was smelting silver. I'm actually still trying to smelt the silver. And when I was loading silver over here, turn me off for first. Yeah, it's weird. When I was loading the ore, I think that's one situation, one moment, I actually load the ingots, and this caused this to lose all the thermal energy, right? So I said, okay, screw it. I'm gonna open the frame and just let this one, and then I'm gonna think about, do I want to raise the pressure again later on, or fix it later on? But this is effectively trying to go through the silver. I will not eject right now to do the storm. So that's one thing. Obviously, the additional row, I mentioned that one at the beginning, but there's one thing around the cooling, right? So this is built pretty much the same as it was. Might be, piping a little differently. I didn't put the pipe analyzer. I straight off the bat built and with connected the waste of the code one to the hot loop. Works fine. But what I did, I put those one-way valve between the segments, and this is what, and this one is laying, but that's fine. This is what was missing from priming the system. So when you have this, obviously the pressure in the pre and post valve will be trying to equalize whatever is in a pre-pipe, like on the previous pipe or upper pipe, so to speak. Like this is me keeping in around 2 megapascal, like the same code is over there working. So this will be also getting 2 megapascal of pressure. And you would think, hold on, wouldn't be this pretty much putting the hot temperature to the cold loop, and wouldn't that actually make this not operational? It works fine, but with reduced capacity, right? Because every time this cools down, uh, the pressure drops and it's being refilled from the hot pipe. But as it goes, the pressure from this hot air brings less thermal energy that's being removed in total, right? And while those are different length of the pipes, it won't be really visible right now. But when I'm gonna build this third segment over here, the piping over here and those will be exactly the same length, but they will be having a different temperature, right? And this is when I'm actually gonna show you that the molar value of one of this segment and the another segment will be different because of the temperature will be different, but the pressure will stay the same, right? And in alignment's terms, you want to have those one-way valves here pretty much all the time, right? If you finish building all your piping and so on, yes, removing them is actually something I would recommend. But as you build out, we will be here extending. We'll be building this room and extending the cold pipe, or the pipe that will be taking coolant. uh, we want to actually constantly being primed to the proper pressure that we want, but when we kind of finish our construction around this, we're gonna remove them, right? The removal is because every time this is gonna heat up, right, the pipe's gonna start cooling down, and the thermal energy will be moved, backwards, or to the up of the stream, you can think. This will be sort of leaking in between those segments because this then gonna cool down. The pressure over here will be slightly bigger than here. A little bit will be leaking over, to the downstream. It's absolutely fine because it's gonna cope. But if you have this, piping system stable and you don't extend this, they're just pointless. Your system is primed, right? Now you could do this without them in the first place and just put a little bit of pressure, or let's say before you turn on the system, you put those one-way valve to add gases into all of the segments, and then you can remove it, right? That also work, but what will happen is each of the segments downstream will have less pressure on it. It's not a bad thingy, all right. Even you can see over here, it's 126 versus 161, right? So the molar value increases even if this pipe is not fully built. But anyway, you might do with the lower pressure in the next segments or in the colder segments, but the more pressure you have, not even the more pressure, the more molar value of a gas element you have, the more thermal capacity this will have, right? And this is what you actually want in the end, due to the fact that if you'll be having a system like this operational, and let me go inside because the noise is just annoying, but when you have this when you have this smaller amount of a gas, right, then changes of a temperature that you will be, whatever you'll be cooling, right, that will be cooling gases in our pretty much growing room, then that's let me just put my thoughts into my brain. Then that cold pipe with a low pressure would be much more reactive to the changes on the in the room, right? In whatever we'll be trying to cool down. Now, the whole system, let's say, like will have its own thermal capacity. Let's say we'll be able to, cool down 4 kilowatts of thermal power, right? Continuously. It's absolutely fine. That will not change if you increase the pressure or decrease the pressure. It will be constantly the same value. But let's say you're gonna have a burst of thermal energy that you need to cool it down. Let's just say that's like you will be pressurizing this room and will be pressurizing with venal temperature, CO2. That's won't be happening all the time, but it will be bursting. Let's say it will be just jumping for 2 minutes and just piping that hot air in by 2 minutes because of the higher pressure or higher molar value in the cold pipe. It actually can sustain that burst for longer, right? Because that pipe will be slowly heating up. It will be like going from minus like 60 to minus 50 for like 2 minutes, versus if it will be very low pressure, that minus 60 to minus 50 gonna go in 2 seconds, right? It's still the whole AC system over there will be taking it for with the same amount of energy in the time, so it will take the same amount of time to cool it back to the original state, but it will be less efficient to the temperature changes, and this is what you really wanted in the end, right? The situation when I messed up cooling on my oxygen tank, and I effectively froze it, obviously exploded, and I lost all my oxygen, and I had even less than oxygen I have now in the tank. I had like bingo below 100 kPa oxygen um in my tank,
Air tank critical.
but I had that room that was already breathable. So what I did by stupidity, I effectively just fixed the cooling loop, fixed the oxygen tank, the external one that was storing the oxygen, and I turn on to suck out all the oxygen from that room because I say, yeah, okay, the plant's gonna like recreate it. But what happened? The pressure drops, so the automation on the CO2 input start piping hot air, and the cooling loop, because it wasn't correctly primed, it didn't have the amount of pressure on the cold loop, couldn't cope it, right? Couldn't cope with that amount of heat being pumped into the room, and effectively all the plants died, matter of seconds. I didn't even like realize to react because I turned off the hot air input, but the temperature stays over there. And then I check the pipe, and the pipe, the cold pipe was 140, Celsius degrees, and it's like, yeah, that needs to now cool down, and it was slowly going down. Plants died, right? So have it, if possible, at high, well, not high pressure. It will be high pressure in the end, but high molar value. So we're gonna leave those one-way valves for time being, right? Um, so that's it. So plan was pretty much to start building the solar array, if possible, but also trade. Oops. Nothing really of interest. Uh, One thing is I had a trader just before actually things explode, and the trader had Invar and Constantin. So I pretty much, waste all my money. I just sold some ores, to him. But those two are actually needed because I don't really manufacture them. The the setup of the furnaces over there, it will be very difficult to do those. But since we have it, I'm gonna go and see if I can do printer mod. Yes, I can. I'm gonna do that one, and I'm gonna upgrade this printer. Then I'm gonna build the tool manufactory and upgrade that one and get myself a better drill. I think over there it's already cleared. Not electronics, tool manufacturing. We need copper. Oh yes. We don't have anything over here. Some spare iron. Can I get copper from you? I can, and plenty. There is a copper. Actually, we're gonna do two things. Stacker first. Because I was like prepared also over here to get the stacker, and then I didn't do it. So I'm gonna do stacker first and then tools manufacturing as a second. So this is already upgraded. This is built. I'm gonna build the tool manufactory mod. We are lucky enough with power, so having the AC and the trader running, it's actually quite power hungry. What do you have, smoggers? Right, that's a little bit of money, but I should pipe this one with this. So if you have decayed food, right, you can use this for fertilizer or whatever. But one way of doing it, if you want some money, obviously this -1, so you sell to them for -1. Effectively, they give you decayed food, and they pay you for that one, right? The same as I think with pollutants, right? This, if you put a gas tank, you could just buy it and then just vacuum and don't care, right? It's gonna disappear. Some mods will, prevent you to do that one without any problems. But eggshell and decayed food, the same thing. What you can do is get them and pipe it to the furnace and just destroy them in the furnace. I won't be doing that one. I'm gonna hit the part and that's it.
Waste tank caution.
We have this ready to go. So I'm gonna take that silver and then I'm gonna weld this back up. And right, I'm gonna put this battery to charge. Just leaving you empty. Right, so I'm gonna mine a bit of silicon, quite a lot of silicon. I'm gonna mine some things for steel. I'm gonna try to make a steel over here and pressurize this. The reason is I will need silicon for glass for the solar panel room and steel for solar panels. Pretty much. That should be enough. So I have 4 stacks of silicon. One glass, it's 2 units of silicon, so that's 100 glasses. That's more or less what we should be able to need or use. The power is almost dead on the base. I'm gonna shut down cooling because I'm not using it, right? And it's constantly drawing power. What I'm gonna do is this is empty. It should have the one magnet, so it didn't lose the pressure. I think it might just lose the temperature for some reason. I'm gonna just drop this for steel. So this should be 400, 800 units, I remember correctly. everything. I drop everything except one stack of coal. I want to see if this is reacting to it. No, it doesn't. Great. I'm gonna start charging you, and at the same time I'm gonna start powering the heaters. This should go pretty much almost one by one on one. Although I make a mistake and I open this valve at some stage, so there is a chance it just drop something. So the reason I wanted to babysit and have this stack of coal in my inventory is I'm gonna drop some coal over here if I'm lacking a pressure, just to rise it. Like, you know, I'm gonna be adding one unit after one unit. What we have here: smokers, tool shop, smokers, beyond infinity. Nothing really. What I'm looking is seeds, obviously, and I'm looking for well, ice, right? In the Forsaken recording, the one that actually unfortunately crashed, I actually got a seed trader and I got, you know, quite decent amount of seed because it was the one that had a box of seeds and it has plenty of seeds. I'm not using, like, you know, the mushrooms because there's plenty of CO2. You could, you know, grow mushrooms, you know, and never ever cool down the CO2 atmosphere, but it's, you know, pointless in my opinion. How are we looking? We're looking good. The pressure will be enough. There will be 1 megapascal when around 1 megapascal when this gonna reach it. But anyway, so I had seeds. I even then started selling down the individual seeds from the seed box. And I said, okay, I have the seeds I wanted. Well, almost. I had fern, I have potatoes. I think I also had the soya, like, you know, so there was the tree I actually wanted. And obviously I start building the solar panels, but we're gonna do this one in a second. We need some frames, definitely. Right, let me just smelt this and be over with. Yeah, the pressure is lacking a little bit. This should keep it. Yeah, nice. There we go. So 400 steel. I don't know why I said 800 for some reason. And we're gonna go now with silicon. Because silicon requires higher temperature. It requires the 900 Kelvin as opposed to 800 for iron. So this keeps the temperature. Yeah, I think the reason this drops the temperature energy is I had silver that I ejected. I cut this partially and like drop me ingots and ore, and I just rebuilt this one and drop ingots already in the ingots, then suddenly drop the temperature over here. But anyway, whoop. Why? Why you suddenly dropped? That's what I'm saying, like, it was fine, right? None of you release any gases. And this was 900 something physics in this game are weird. Anyway. Yeah, 900, right? And I'm gonna turn you off. And great. Absolutely great. Right, where were we? Trying to jump over the tool shop, smuggler, planetary produce. That might be something of interest. Oops. Right. So, what we're gonna do? We're gonna start building, upper floor or solar farm. Also, if you suddenly found out that I have no pill left because I actually used it on the second day, um, I didn't realize how this room goes very, very hot because this was turned off like currently, and all of this was giving up heat. And I started eating and drinking. It was below 1 kilopascal, but it effectively burned my lungs. So there's that. Okay. So this effectively will be entrance to the upper floor. And the way it looks, because like I mentioned, generally this will be a solar panel over here overhanging. It won't over here. So here is the row of solar panels. There will be 9 of them. And then here will be an empty row of solar panels, empty row of solar panels, empty row. So here will be a row of solar panels, right? So all of those needs to be filled with frames, right? This where we gonna be entering, effectively this one. It will be also a walkway. So this is empty, and all of those kind of empty. It will be like kind of like this fork style, right? I'm also gonna put those frames. So because this will be entrance, right? The doorway are here. Now, I could build the doorway this way. I have the cable externally accessible, but it can be also internal. Externally is actually what I want. I'm gonna tell you why. Because all of the weather station logic, I think I need a crowbar for this. Yes, and just keep it open for them. The weather station, like the weather station gonna end up in this corner maybe, or somewhere over here. That doesn't really matter. Most likely here, so I don't care if I will be seeing it or not, because there will be also light and speaker, so having it either way is fine. And pretty much the logic of it also will be like the chip will be somewhere over here and will be just controlling this door. So I could have them internally or inside, sorry, but the thing is inside there will be cables going from the solar panels, right? So as we're gonna build this, what we will have over here is this row will be empty, but power cable from this solar panel will be coming over here and all the way up here, and all of the additional rows will be joining. Well, technically starting from this one. So this will be a first, second, third, hold on, first, second, third, and a fourth, right? So 4 rows over here. That said, maybe that said, there will be, one cable, second cable, third cable coming, down. Actually, the third will be going from here. So, and the fourth is this one, right? Fourth effectively gonna like exit this way. Now I don't know if I'm gonna fit more than 4 transformer over here, which is fine because technically the raster could be connected in different way. But I'm gonna leave those 3 cables over here, just because I'm gonna reuse them in a second. And we need to put windows. So right, this is how it's gonna go, and it's up. Yes, I need to create much more of them. So this is just to like have this, a little bit of a show how it's gonna look. Obviously going up to the back over here, we don't need to have, we will have like windows from the top, from, east-west side, but north side is just wall. It could be window, but it's actually a sort of waste of resources. So we're gonna have this looking this way, right? Now, the total length, east-west side, it's actually 10 frames, right? So this would net 10 solar panels on all the length times 500 watts. That's 5 kilowatts, which is maximum of what this cable can handle, right? And this will be fine, right? This will be fine. There will be transformers to split it over here and then just drag it to the batteries. But because this first frame, it will be walkway to just give an access, it will be exactly 9 solar panels. This is absolutely fine, what I like. Right now we obviously need to build a roof over here and then later on the room, on the bottom, and cutting that hill, into that hill side. But so how many frames now we need to just get, and all the windows and so on, right? So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 10. That's 70 frames in total. I can take them all, and then I'm gonna use them for something else. So that's 70 frames. Above over here it's 70 windows, 80, 90, 104, right? So there's 104 iron walls. We had 30 of them at the beginning. I'm gonna do 100, and gonna pretty much do based on that. So 70 frames, 100 iron walls, and that requires quite a lot of iron. So guess what we're gonna do? Nope, we're not gonna go mining. Nah, yeah, we're gonna go mining. But before we're gonna go mining, I'm actually gonna go and see what I need for a better drill, because I'm not doing this with this puny tiny one. Let me go over here, get some water. I don't know why I took all of this, but I'm gonna literally now drop it back in the base, and that's it. Now, to not waste some of the time, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start pretty much using all of that silicon to get that glass, because if I need 104 iron walls, I also need about 100 of a glass, and that's fairly accurate. Like, except the back wall, all of it will be glass. Iron sheets I need for you, and I need exactly 3. So weather station requires 3 iron sheets, and I think that's it. I need better drill. It's heavy or a mining drill? Okay, no, it's the heavy one, right? Solder in electron steel. We have this here. Right. Okay. Oh yeah, solder. There you go. one. Let's just pack all of you. That's steel. That's silver. I actually gonna still put it because I might have additional motherboards. Then I'm gonna empty. Yes, empty you. And what I'm gonna put over there is just a little bit of iron. Out of curiosity, that's one. Okay, so later on I will be getting some paint to paint the cables up in the solar panels for each of the network, but also repaint the cooling system. You require battery, and I'm gonna do a little bit of sensible thing, and I'm actually gonna get the how much is for this one? A big battery. I'm gonna actually use that one in the heavy drill, and we're gonna sell this mining drill that we have over here. It actually can be sold for a decent amount of money at some trader, but we require to have power. Let's see how this baby works. It's like the moment you realize, oh, this is just like, you know, hot knife into the butter style. It's like, oh, why I didn't do this earlier? That's ice. But it's 7x7 and it requires runway. But you... So cool. I didn't think that this will be having this kind of eco style. Star Shop might be something of interest. Whoops. Don't think it will have a seeds or anything like that, but why not? More iron. And I'm gonna do electrum and go and see if there is anything left. What you have? Yeah, you are generic trader. Sort of all and nothing. Repeating oxygens, that's another one I want to check. You are still getting... You're done. Great. We are gonna go 50, 50, 50, 50. Yeah, I think so. What do you have? What you can accept? No, nothing. Goodbye. So yeah, still looking for seeds, looking for nice, and technically ore, so we can sell ingots. That's 200 of electrum. I'm gonna drop this 12, and I'm gonna add 12 of gold. Okay, there is a bit more of electrum, and we're gonna smelt the remainder of a gold. What do you have? You have gases, and you'd like me to sell you a nice wrong planet, man. Go to Europa. They will have something for you. 140 gold. Yes, please. We're rich. It's not power. Oh, yeah, it's this weird shadow. I was thinking like there's a copper ore hanging up there. But okay, we have more or less what we want. Right. So as I calculated, 100 of iron walls, and I was needed 70 frames. I definitely need less, but I'm gonna do 50. Well, 62 stacks. I'm gonna go away, turn it off. I'm gonna go and put some code in. So first thing will be a code for the weather station. And I don't think I published this code, but it's very simple, right? So this was originally written for valve, not the door. I'm gonna leave this as a valve, but that's fine, right? The only thing is it's not on, but open. I'm gonna get to this code in a second, no worries. I just want to check this. Not dark, that's kind of me. Door. Key door, glass door, and it's open, right? Pretty sure that's it, right? The operating stuff. So open, 1 means they're open, 0 means they're being closed, right? Edit. Okay, those like pointer over there. But anyway, so what we have here, it's two aliases, so two screws on the IC housing. One of them is for weather station, that will be the D0. The other one named valve, it actually is door, I just don't want to rename it. It's the one for the doors that will be open and close, right? Also define the klaxons lights, that will be for speakers, and lights on the same circuit to trigger alarm, right? So what is effectively, if you read the weather station, you have three states, right? From mode 0 is mean no storm, it's clear weather. 1 is incoming, so it's the 90 seconds or whatever before the weather hits, and the 2 is, apparent storm. And we just pretty much switch to different three sub functions. And if it's clear, we're gonna keep the doors open and lights turn off, speaker, turn off, right? If it's warning status, we closing the door, we keep the lights turned on, and we keep the siren on. When it's storm, we pretty much also keep the door closed, we keep the speaker turn off, so it's not constantly, blaring, but the lights start, spinning, right? So I'm gonna go and write this one, and I hope it's written. Wait. There we go. I press F2 for some reason. I didn't even notice that the whole UI it disappeared, and no, it didn't written. Export. Now it is. Right. The second chip. Yeah, you keep going. Second chip is. I'm gonna clear this, and I'm gonna use library, and it's code by Pez, which is named I think perfect solar panel. Pause the game. Perfect solar tracking midnight reset by Pez. I'm just using this one. I'm gonna quickly go. It's very amazing. The midnight reset doesn't really work for some reason. I don't care really about this. I might just like look into this and fixing, but not really. In this code, you actually need to, write those two defines, correct it in line 8 and line 9, right? And effectively what you're gonna do is you put the direction where the ports are. This actually explains over here, right? But what this means, right? And the easiest way will be to temporarily disable the logo on the corner, right? You have here a compass, and this is the direction, right? I'm gonna just confirm this, and if I'm gonna look this direction, right? It's 180, that's pretty much south. This will be 100, this will be 0, that's north. That's 270, which is west. On Venus, sun's rising west actually. And this is 90, which is east, right? If you have a solar panel or the sensor, it has a port over here and goes in one of those four directions. The direction of where that port goes, it needs to be put in the chip. Same when we have a solar panel, right? And you keep doing what you're doing. So going back to edit, right? I know that the sensor will be facing south, so the port is north, therefore this is gonna stay as a 0. Now the direction on the panel, it actually will be also 0 the way I'm building, because this says the combined data power is where you put it, or where the power is. The way I will be building additional rows, they will be actually using the data from this one, and the data will be facing south, but their power will be facing north. So for me, those two values stays as they are, but depends how you build. You will need to address the change. I'm gonna export this one. I'm gonna take this. Now I know which one it is because the length of them is different. The code length, turn you on. Starship, blah, 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 blah. We don't care about this, right? So we manufacture a little bit. So we have here iron walls. I have frames. So under guns, I built way too much frames. There's another almost stack over there. I also built another battery because we're gonna use that one in the power controller. Let me start building it. Well, actually, let me.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Yay! Can.
Cognition low.
Oops. I almost died.
Pressure critical. Oxygen critical.
Okay. Right. Let us go build a few things. So we're gonna start with frames. I'm gonna put one over here and one over here, and fill this direction, right? So across. So in total will be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where the one is. 7, 8. Here I'm gonna leave it as it is, so I have extra 21 frames and another 29 in I'm stupid, I never took iron sheets. You know what, that's fine. I'm gonna fill those later on. Let me just put a few other things. Sorry for being chaotic right now, because yeah, a few things on my mind. Bottom line, So we're gonna do, as I mentioned, 10 length, but the first row will be empty, so there will be 9 solar panel on each of the 4 rows, right? And obviously what we'll be happening, or what we'll be having over here is pretty much a solar panel that will be like here, and then there will be a data going to this solar panel. It will be only this direction, right? So there will be solar panels over here. This will be powered. To make this more clean, right? This is. Oops. Um, Cable coming over here. I'm just gonna put this into this direction, right? So that's actually the reason why this door are having connections to the outside, because here is the power cable actually going. And now as this goes over here, let me just build this partially. Right here, obviously is the end. Again, solar panels will be starting from this frame. This one is empty. Here is where the transformers are actually gonna end up. Now, the last row will have their power coming on this edge and the data on this edge, right? So we'll be having a power going here, pretty much this direction, and all of the others are actually pointing, north side. So this is the 3 transformers, right? The sort of a feed cable is coming this way. I'm gonna just for now not pull it, towards batteries, because I need to little bit sort the area over here when this line is, right? But this is how it starts. So to give you an idea, this is here. Here is my connection from this one. There is empty space, so here is another one, and here is another one, right? So this goes over here. When I'm gonna lay those cables, this should make more sense. And this is actually not here, this is this direction. Right. So each of this row, that will be another panel, one panel over here, one here, one here, and one here, has its own power feed cable, right? Now obviously this splits to the other panels. This will be going all the way over here and kind of wrapping on the 270 west side over there, back to this each row to keep the data. Over time, this actually gonna make much more sense. I need iron sheets to actually build anything else because I cannot weld those frames. Just to quickly think about this, gonna go here, here, here. Weather station is gonna go over here, and I'm gonna actually explain this in a second. I'm gonna just put it over here brutally as it is now, kind of overhanging. If you don't like it, fine, put another frame or something, don't mind. I'm just gonna leave it. By the way, if you ever build a weather station and it's unpowered, you can still know if the weather is imminent, because this micro turbine will start spinning. So it's actually good to build it, early into the game. We're gonna go and grab iron sheets. Finally, this dropped to 1 liter. keep in mind when I put this bottle, all of this, equalizer that it shows, this was 2 liter from 12, right? So we are halfway of this first canister, give or take. So we consume only 6 liters of water in 14 days. Yep, that's not entirely accurate. I have a gas plant us. Yes. Oh yeah, there is a storm. We need we need to call the trader when it's happened. You stop doing what you're doing. Let's go outside. Right. It's a storm. It will be problematic, but we better start. Yeah, get moving. I'm gonna turn off. Right. Now, word of advice: don't use jetpack when you uh, are in the storm. That's why ladders is actually nice. I'm surprised that this didn't show me a storm warning before we even got into this situation. I'm gonna first use. I need to make some room in our inventory. So let me just get rid of this single frame. Sorry, single window and weld those frames. Right, all of them needs to be welded fully because this will be a ceiling to lower rooms downstairs, obviously. Feels like more. Feels like my math somewhere is off. Right. Feels like really off, but I currently don't care because I want to catch a trader. Plans are us. Land now. So here I have gas. It's fine. It's me, Mario. It's from mod. We need to do quickly because I want to keep this one on land pad. Me, Mario is effectively out from obviously game.
Power critical.
Okay, hold on. Close. Do not depart. I need to swap batteries, otherwise I'm gonna die. What I can sell you? Package of seeds. Okay, fine. Can I buy from you some box of seeds? I have 320. Soybean. And fern. What do you have over here? Fern, potato. This one is better. That's 150. Separate seeds is 50. That's already much more, right? So sugarcane, cocoa. Okay, we're gonna go buy this box, and one day we're gonna actually sell whatever else is over there and go away, right? So we got now several seeds, which is fine. I want to get the interstellar iceless because I think this one is the one that have ices for sale, and I'm gonna leave it pretty much being on the launch pad if it's the one I'm thinking about this. For eternity, for time being, until I'm gonna get enough money somehow, although I have just almost none. Yeah, you. No, you are the opposite. You can buy from me. Okay, go away. Hey, never mind. We need battery power. We need. Well, I still have a little bit of a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's about 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 25. So 23. So my sort of like personal advice when you're doing this, obviously now, like 2 years ago, the glass was fully transparent, so you didn't really know if you have, window fully built or not. But when you're doing it, do this like not randomly, so just like in such a pattern that you will remember it. So I start pretty much going, window all the on the bottom, and now it will be like, a zigzagging sort of like snake style. Do all those later on until I'm gonna run out from all the glass, right? The reason is you might accidentally miss like an iron coating or plastic coating, depends which windows you are building. This way you at least know that where the glass is, it's done, right? So I took all of the 150 glass sheets with me, and some of the iron sheets that should be enough. Again, I miscalculated the amount of windows we need because I have like 2 more. Maybe I don't remember. I'm recording this on a totally different day than the previous section. In fact, there was no update today in the morning, so first I was reading what was changed in the update. So loads of food, and like starting food, especially items like corn soup and so on, they have less nutrition. So we have less food than we had just before, but that's fine. So I thought we need 23 windows or kit walls, but apparently it was 21, or maybe it was 21 and I for some reason remember 23. Those glasses gonna go for solar panels. Let me just weld. Oh, this is the battery that's missing. I'm gonna replace you.
Hunger critical.
For the time being. So we're gonna go mine also some copper right now before I'm actually gonna finish this, because I want to start doing cable coils and solar panels, just to a little bit finish what we have over here. I'm gonna build this frame, I'm gonna build that frame, and yeah, let's just quickly check one thing, and then before we go, I'm gonna start putting cable over here. So this is the power feed cable to weather station, and just to supply power for logic circuits for what do you call it, the solar array. Now the best way would be to join it over here like this. How I'm gonna put this cable? It will be overhanging. Okay. Let me just bring it over here. Right. Not entirely the maximum I want, but that should be enough. I'm taking now the paint, so I'll color code some of it at least. Just close this. We are good to go. Okay. So let's start from the obvious number one, which is the obvious from the doors over here, and so on, right? So the power feed from more or main battery, our main feed comes over here. So what we're gonna do is put the APC in this corner. We're gonna open it, put the big battery, switch it on and close it. Yes, it's blinking error because, various of the reasons. Now keep in mind, APC does
Hydration
not
critical.
limit you power draw, so you could burn the cable over there. Many people still convinced that APC limits the power usage. Never did. I think it was sort of a typo in the description that was provided in the help on early version of the game that was telling that the APC actually limits power to like 5 kilowatts or whatnot. Not true, but that kind of urban legend still is, persists. So keep in mind that doesn't limit power output. So if you put, draw over here more than 5k, this cable start burning. What I want to have you one over here and yeah, one over here. Now, keep in mind, if you didn't notice, so let me maybe explain this more. This will be for weather station and the door, right? This one will be for solar panels. I'm gonna put it out externally, which is fine. But those will be split networks. So the data is obviously on the left and the power is on the right side, right? You can see over here. This is how we want to connect it. You want to connect the power from the APC, but the data cannot be connected to the same network, or they cannot be bridged. Otherwise, you create a loop across the solar panel network, this network, and the main networks. And funny enough, the cables, the high voltage cables, heavy duty cables, will be actually burning for some reason. Not these ones. Actually, all of them will be in general, but yeah. We're gonna go and put crossover here and connect you here and you over there, right? This is code for you and this one is for you. I remember because the length for the solar panel tracking, the byte length is longer. I'm gonna turn off and turn on, turn on and turn off to just get the naming, and we're gonna go weather station on D1 and valve will just glass door, right? You're gonna just turn this on and find the switch for weather station, which is on this side. Okay. So now if I'm gonna close this door, it's gonna keep opening. I'm not locking it, so I can actually in emergency just go through them if they will be closed. But like I mentioned to the code, if it will be weather event happening or about to happen, this will be reversed. It will be keep closing those doors, right? And this is what we want. That's effectively it, right? Now the other part is just get this cable inside. I'm gonna turn this on. There is no configuration to be made, and we're gonna go get the cable over here, right? And what we're gonna do is put the sensor on this line, right? So as I explained in the code, the sensor is facing south, so 180, which for that purpose I'm just gonna disable the logo. So the port is facing 0, which is north, and this is how we did configure it in the code over there. So I'm just gonna put it over here, and I'm gonna put one of the solar panels here. This one is with the joint port, so you had data import altogether, as you can see, and it's already starting to track. Right now the transformers are disabled. I'm gonna enable them later, but to show you why this is done in this way, we have then the sub panel dual ports, and the data is on the south facing while the power is on the north facing.
Hunger critical.
disable this. And again, the data is being, pretty much replicated or, used from this network, right? But the power limit to that network will be maximum of 4,500, and then this one will be also 4,500. So we're gonna take the labeler and we're gonna go do labeling, right? So first of all, each of a knob goes to 5k. You can go higher, but you don't need to. Well, don't go lower because you'll be losing power now. Also, the game, the way it works, if you provide more power from solar panels right over here to this network, but there is no power draw, it actually will not burn the cables for some reason, right? So if you suddenly have 11 solar panels over here, but the draw, obviously, transformer is only 5k, they won't burn. Uh, or for safety, you could do 4999, right? And then definitely they won't burn. The other thing is why you're using those is just split network. So this is 5k, this will be more. Like all of those 4 rows of solar panels will provide 3,800 kilowatts. So sorry, 3,900. What I'm saying. 510 to 20 minus 200, 18 kilowatts, right? So at peak they will be providing 18 kilowatts. If you just draw line over here, that's one network, so therefore all of this will be burning. I'm gonna turn those on, even like this and that one is not used. That's absolutely fine, right? And now I'm gonna paint it, right? This will be my white network, right? I'm gonna also paint the solar panel white. And this is my red network, and I'm gonna also paint the transformer red, right? And I'm gonna name them as PV color, so red, right? I'm gonna do this green, and last one will be blue. I'm gonna get the paints later on, right? Obviously this is not like done, so let me actually start working on this cabling, and we need to hook it up this to the batteries, right? The way I'm gonna go, I'm gonna pull it in the Windows side, but I'm gonna actually continue straight. It will be overhanging. I don't like it, but it's fine. Obviously, it's not full even 500. I think it will be circa in about 500 per solar panel, but that should be fine, right? The efficiency is 99, which is fine. But yeah, this is pretty much done. We just need to start getting more panels and wiring. Oh, good that there's this hole. Now, what we need to do is pretty much connect from this side all the way up and over there. I'm gonna use zip mod. Much easier. Click. And I'm gonna take white paint and just recolor this white. And that's it. Yeah, our batteries are getting a little bit of power. This one was dead, now it's actually taking charges from our solar array to panels. Doesn't make array, but let's just extend it. Let's start getting more solar capacity and see how this goes. Okay, I'm still printing more solar panels, but instead of just blindly waiting over there, I'm gonna do a few things. One, I found one of the traders I want to check out quickly. Well, two of them. So you accept, yeah, you selling alloys and accept alloys. There is a silver, and we had some of the silver. Look at this, 3 credits per unit, and they accept like 4,000. We could just go, on the town and mine. Also, if you buy like silver ore, I think it's like 50 or 40 cents, but we're gonna go and just do full of it and just sell it for 1100. I could go and sell like my steel supply or something like supplies or something like this, right? What we can buy from it is more Constantin, and I think that's it. I'm gonna leave it as it is. I don't need it now. I'm gonna just keep the part, but yeah, that's actually one of the modded traders. That's why I'm playing with them, because the vanilla one are a bit of weird. That was the alloy and ingots. I want to see them more ores. I think this will be just similar but raw ores. So that's one thing. It's end of the sun, sunshine, right? End of the day. I'm gonna just put
Hydration critical.
those 3 panels I already have over here. The rest gonna came, along quickly. One, two. And what I'm gonna do after dealing with those panels, those 3 extra glasses I have on me, I'm actually gonna start building foundation for the room that will be, expanding. Now this is 5 panels, so it's 2.5 kilowatt, give or take, for peak power during the day. Cooling is disabled. If it will be cooling enabled, that will be, still losing charges, because the cooling after I'm gonna finish will be 2.4 kilowatt of electricity all the time. But those panels, those 5 panels, pretty much gonna keep up the station, with the trader, I think, on working, right? So I can buy ore from you and sell you ore and sell you a heavy mining drill, not MK2 heavy is the one I'm using, and requires battery. But there will be one trader that will be buying it. I know I said for like fairly price. It's actually not that like big of a price. It's they're gonna buy it for like 100 credits. It's still good. Oops. Just cover this hole. Remember, cover your holes. Pretty sure that someone now gonna report this video for that comment. I'm not even gonna comment on my comment over there, right? Because I will be digging bigger hole. But yeah. So I also made advanced tablet, so I can actually check, the power consumption, so on. So this is still generates power from the solar, but yeah, as you can see, the current draw is 730 watts, right, without the cooling. So there is still solar panels being, manufactured, I think. Let me quickly check, because here will be easy to see. Yeah, 300 watts is consumed by the base of 100 something. It fluctuates over there. As you can see, it's the electronics printer creating the solar panels, but yeah, you can just remove about 120 or 150 watts from it. So 500 watts is about how the base is being idle, right? So that's good. So like I said, those 5 solar panels will be, fine to upkeep the base. The all of that will build up will be way too much for what we need, but more is better, actually. Better have some backup. Now this is where there is the frames as walls coming. Here will be airlock. I'm not gonna build. Well, I won't be building like a walls over here as it is. There will be sorry, full frames. There will be just like walls, but we need floor first of all. So let me just do that. And I think I'm gonna like cut it out. I need frames underneath, definitely. And there will be some missing also over there. Do I need frame over here? Yes.
Critical.
Um, Now, the way I'm gonna actually go about this room when I'll be like finishing, I'm actually gonna expose this to again the atmosphere that will be captured in this portion. So I'm not gonna be like preventing this one. Uh, you could, but uh, preventing it and then opening and so on makes sense if you really have anything that can get damaged or destroyed, after you do it. So if you have, an ice in like lying around, for example, or plants already and so on. But because we don't have it, and that was the reason I actually didn't want to start any of this plantation and so on in the the first room, was because then I'll need to.
Critical.
Mm, no, I'm just lazy to go to get the battery replaced. Let me just do this way. The what else? Yeah, so if I did this before, like if I actually like put the plants up there or whatever, and I need to take care about the atmosphere, and then later on, sorry, if I like had any proper atmosphere or proper conditions in that room, if I'll be joining this one, then I need to like do some wonkiness, like put the wall maybe before I take it out, vent this. Takes a bit longer. And usually when you do it, or you do some shenanigans, being trapped inside, or whatever. I don't need it right now, so I don't care about this. Now this one I'm giving actually as T-junction because that cable
Hunger.
will be going
Critical.
on this way, on this side for data purposes. So let me just connect you this way. Right, so we'll be having power cable over here. We'll be having a solar panel that is, sorry, not power cable, data cable over here coming in, right? So this is one solar panel, and this is another one, and this is another one. I know they won't be connected for some time, but let's just leave it like it is right now, right? Because I did this junction over here, it's easier when you have not enough resources, but just for sake of showing what I'm mentioning, right? Those two are bridged, right? The bridge over there, which is sort of okay. And now this goes pretty much all the way over here. Right? And this will be having its own, right? So all of those data comes over here from this side, while from the side of west, while the power going towards east, towards the transformer line. Now, obviously, that's way not enough cables, but let me just put those reminding. Get some copper and connect all of this. Okay, I think that's a bit of enough of what we have here. One thing I didn't add the light and the klaxon over there, not the biggie, it's for the there as in for the weather station. Mm, I'm gonna add them pretty much in a second. Where are you going? I think I need to change the stair. So many times I'm forgetting to. Right. I'm leaving those two stacks because I want to separate them and I want to drop that into pipe bender because I stole the copper from it early on. Right. Uh, close you, close you. How are we looking? Decent. As you can see, this slowly charging with those solar panels. Fabulous. There's more than 500. Just let it in. It's gonna be split. What do we have here? Pebbles, time to build, building incorporated. No, thank you. Tool shop. Nah. Tool shop might accept the drill. That's what I was thinking about this. Yep. So we're gonna do this and this and why the temperature rised? That's interesting. It's like this suddenly decided, you know what, I'm gonna eject. Or maybe didn't the gas correct when this is suddenly full and so it thinks, oh, I'm gonna just eject halfway through because there were something like 30. Like I was dropping mostly full stacks and it was like putting it like 37 or whatever. Right. This is the gassing. This suddenly drops a temperature below ability to process ore, and since the mold is open, it just ejected half process. I think the mystery is solved. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up in a second with all of this. Let me just do two things, right? So what I mentioned is this is supposed to be light. Well, it's not mandatory, it's optional, but light and a speaker. I'm gonna go back to the ladder and just place them over here. If I will be able to do it.
Hydration critical.
So I'm gonna put light over here, speaker over here. Right, add just cables. I'm gonna connect this in a second. One thing what we need to do is to increase the volume and change it to like alarm 2 or whatever, right? By default this is nothing, no sound is selected.
Hunger critical.
So it will not actually like sound any alarm if it's triggered, but now it should. So what would happen is when we'll be heading for a storm, yeah, the light and the siren are gonna turn on. This is what we want. Now, I'm gonna go and yank this cable all the way over here. This now is actually being settling. What I'm actually now gonna remove is this temporary connection. The reason is because I'm actually want to have all of that cables, you know, coming sort of the same. I'm gonna just put this one over here. Second thing, it's actually uh, closer or shorter distance. When you will count the cables, I think it's by like one, so it's not a big of a difference. But just like, and I don't really care about the aesthetics of many things, but it looks more neater if the cable is coming from the opposite direction. Uh, Let me just pull the cable over here, and that was one stack of cables already gone. And I'm gonna pull you here. I don't think I have enough cables to do any of them, so I'm just gonna put as much I can, which is this, and move those two solar panels on the white row. So
Air tank low.
that's fine. So at least they will be in use. Right. So the red row is full, 9 panels. White is 7 panels, so 2 needs to be added over here, obviously, and then future green and blue, or blue or green. We're gonna check the names when we, so yeah, green will be this one, and then blue over here. They're gonna be added, as we go. Um, just for shenanigans, easier to then spot the color is just to put the cable paint. Right now, there's blue one, so also the I think the more important is actually paint the transformers. So yeah, this is how it's gonna be, looking, and as this is gonna close and open, it's gonna protect it, right? But this amount of solar panels, actually the second row fully built out will be pretty much enough to run the cooling all the time. If everything works well, the cooling will be actually shutting down on its own, and the amount of power needed for grow and so on is minuscule. So the row and a half actually will be for other use, which will be charging of the rocket that we'll be building at some stage, closer than further down. But I'm gonna end it over here for time being. This episode will be definitely longer. See you later.